Hello, everybody.
Hey!
We're doing stuff. It works. I think.
Yeah, it works.
It works for now. Welcome over to a special episode of Rapid Unscheduled Discussions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm your host, Seth Kurkowski, with me in person for the first time
Ever.
the Cajun Daryl Sausse.
Hello, and joining us is our best friend these days, Zac Hall.
Hey everybody.
Back for a recall.
Yeah. Ooh, that. Okay. Good
I
one.
said it because it rhymed with Paul.
The weird thing about this is that you're still when a podcast starts, like there's kind of like this, not like inauthentic, but like performance that kicks in. But for you guys, like it never stops. And this is just.
Our entire life is our podcast.
It's a continuation.
Basically,
of the
yeah.
past 3 days.
So we're doing this special edition version to recap all the events of today, which, I mean, unless you're living under a rock, this week, yeah. It's been a wild week just doing everything. It's been a hell of a week for me. I am going on like 4 hours of sleep over the last 3 days. But most recently, unless you're living under a rock, you heard that the U.S. is going to Mars again. The Perseverance rover is on its way to Mars right now. It got out of orbit. We haven't even watched the replay of the official webcast. We meant to do that. Yeah. Oh well. That's us.
Let's do it like right before we fall asleep.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Yeah. We're gonna fall asleep. Watching that like around 8 o'clock tonight or something like that. With the way we're going.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a beautiful launch. I mean, went off without a hitch. No, there were no hiccups in the count, except, I know where you're going, except, go ahead.
The first launch I've ever witnessed in my life, 2.5 years, I guess, of watching rocket launches.
My life, 2.5 years.
My 2.5 years of rocket.
Sure. Yes. Yes.
Whole time over
Of an actual, well, I was just saying, like, just all the time. This happens normally. It hasn't happened the past 2.5 years. But, an earthquake?
Yeah.
Affected, no, I didn't affect it, but there was, we got on base. By the way,
Yeah, so where did you guys watch the launch today?
We were all...
Because I think
You're
last
all
week
impressed.
you guys were unsure, like on the fence about coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Well,
I was
I'm
pretty
sure
certain I wasn't going to come, and then you changed my mind pretty quickly.
Okay, yeah.
And then,
You changed my mind on Saturday when we met up for you to borrow my launch trigger.
Yeah.
And I said, well, let me come up there and, if you have access to set up cameras, I'll give you gear to set up more than one. Hedge your bets, play the law of averages as a photographer. I preach that to everybody in photography. High speed mode is your best friend while you're shooting. Afterwards, it is not. So we set up, Zach set up 2 pad shots. I helped set it all up. We made some boxes.
I had an AirPod in and called you, and I'm like laying in the dirt and the mud, like trying to viewfinder, like, and I have a notebook of steps that like the night, I wrote down from you the night before, and we rehearsed like 3 times, and then that morning, and then we're like doing it. It was like a remote setup. But,
Yeah.
And
So
it worked.
Yeah, it was a proxy pad setup.
Mhm.
That's a new one. We're gonna coin that.
Yeah.
this was the first launch of Space Sport that we've been credit for, right?
Yep.
You haven't done any other ones yet?
Yeah, that's right. So, that's the first.
Yeah. So obviously Zach's been doing all of the press conferences and the remote setup, and somehow magic happened and the stars aligned, and we got on base at the causeway to be able to see. All 3 of us did.
Yep.
Which it was a nice return for me because I was on the causeway for AH5, so it was a nice kind of like, hey, I did it again. It's been like a whole year since I started taking it seriously, and now I'm doing like actual media instead of social.
I never been.
And yeah, not until we got past the guards gate, I realized that Daryl's never been on base, and he goes, "Oh my god, I'm on base! Oh my god, I'm on base! Oh my god, I'm on base!"
You should have had in-car video.
I wish I would. Well, yeah, I wish I could have.
But we kind of can't.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that is true.
Strictly in car.
That is one
Yeah,
thing.
you can see it.
Did have to do. But
to be able to have access to that is incredible, and we definitely got to do that.
I mean, it's all everyone's helping everybody out because if I would have just I took the remote shot opportunity because it's like it's offered, why not?
Oh yeah.
And so I was just gonna wing it, and it was hard, even with having you involved. Like you got your experience, and it totally changed my perspective of when I look at a remote shot. My instinct is like, that's really cool, but it's like the subject is what makes it cool, not that there's like so much skill that went into taking a picture. But that could be further from the truth because the fact that you can't be there to take a picture means that you've got to think about everything that's possible ahead of time.
Yes.
And
it ended up being
exposure, like all those things, plus
and it ended up coming up here doing this, the excitement level just ramps up and up and up, and getting to do this just cranked it up to a whole new level. So when I got in, we immediately started working on these boxes. Limited amount of time, not too many places you can go for stuff,
I'm stuck at work.
Well, you're
and
stuck
I'm
at
just
work.
seeing a few texts come through with some images, and I'm like, oh, cool, they're doing this. And all of a sudden I get the final product, and it's some gorilla pods and some reindeer. I'm like, so the box didn't work out. All right.
We worked on it till about 2 in the morning, something like that. Decided to get out for a bit. Drove down to the port. Said screw it, not going to sleep. Drove down to the port, hang out there, saw the boosters. It was in bed for the night. Was trying to wait for Pegasus, which it did not make it to me. I ended up falling out. Went back. I fell asleep. Zach ended up going out there. I tried to nap on his way out there. But when we got back after visiting the port, I'm an overthinker, and I came in and I said, you know what? I don't like these boxes. I don't want to use them. Completely changed the setup. We were going to put stakes in the ground, maybe halfway, try and balance the box on it and whatnot. I said no. I took my
my god.
We rehearsed all of that. I went to bed, finally asleep, and I woke up and there was the whole I was
I'm
going
so
to sleep.
happy you didn't go.
As I was going to sleep, it was like, screw this, we're on Plan E.
I don't have much of a reputation.
Yeah.
But that would have killed it.
I just ended up, throwing my storm jackets on it, taking gorilla pods, throwing the legs out, staking those down, and those got staked down pretty good. Because when you picked it up today, you said you had to basically rip the tripod off, which is fine. You just pop the legs back together. But we ended up at one worked, one didn't.
They didn't fail in an embarrassing way. So the one that didn't, I thought that there's a whole story
It
behind
didn't fail the way I thought it would fail.
Yeah,
I'll be
exactly.
honest, my hopes, I didn't have faith. And when I saw the pictures,
Me neither.
Do we know why it failed? Did we figure that out?
Yeah, it was haste. It was 90 minutes to set the cameras, which is a pretty generous amount of time.
Yeah.
Of those 90 minutes, I had about 10 to use. The parts for everything, something else. And so it was last second for that last camera to get there, and I was I asked for 5 more minutes, and then they gave it to me. But I was really rushing it, and what happened was, the first one's good. Okay, the second one has an out of focus picture of a rocket launching in the background, and a bag coming into it, so into the front of the lens, and then it's just a bag over the lens, which I feel good about because it isn't that the wind blew the cover over the lens hours before the launch or every night. It was actually the effects of the rocket launching that made that bag move like that.
Yeah.
So it was because of the launch it did that. So not as bad as the night before it screwed up and there was never a chance.
Yeah.
and we're getting better at here than my house.
You should move in here.
I should just move here.
No, from the pad, we ended up getting, I'd say 4 or 5 shots that we liked of the actual launch itself. There was some, shortly before launch and, the empty pad, which are really cool to look at. But the one we got was our 10 cab, an engine shot. And with a little tweaking, it's not on par with everyone else's engine shots that you see who've been doing this for a while, but it's the first time anybody in this room has ever had the chance to even try. So we're all really pleased with how it came out.
Listen, I was expecting the pod to be 50 feet in the other direction, and
I
camera's dead.
am happy
that was
that
my
camera is-
bar. I set the bar so low for myself, and so anything that came out of this was a success. Like even if they didn't fire, but they stayed into the ground, that was a success.
The fact that the cameras survived, because one was on loan to us, the other one was my number 2 camera behind my EOS R, which we're using right now. Hello.
On my lens, by the way.
So on his 90s this time. So to leave something like that out there at the pad was risky enough on my part. But again, we had to ad-lib, this was all hastily put together, and I'm not disappointed. I think I can say you guys aren't disappointed either.
No.
Not
With the pad shots.
I was afraid to look at the cameras at first. I was gonna let you guys tell me, but then I finally kind of had time to call. And I was like, I wonder, and I knew that with the one that had the lens covered wouldn't have anything, and it had more than I thought it would. But then the other one, I was like, okay, because it's like 1,000 pictures, 10,000 pictures.
Yeah, that's my fault.
But and I looked at 10,000, like the launches, maybe a few hundred or 100, and when I finally found them, I'm like, oh, that happened, and there's like 4, that I left off. But,
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it is great stuff, and it's the first of more to come from the Space Explorer team.
Yeah.
We're only going to get better from here.
Yeah, I could have gone out there on my own, but what I would have left at the pad would not have sufficed, and then you have the talent, like, and the experience to put that together, and then to do it remotely is like
Setting up a remote pad with remote help.
And then it turns out,
Oh my god.
yeah, and then it turns out that like you kind of should take a motorcycle to a launch pad with a live rocket on it. I mean, and you can. I think actually I'll defend this. I think you can, but you can't skip the gate when you show that you don't have a feeder.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's
that's how I
sorry.
spent most of the hour and a half was talking to police about being a gate jumper. So
you're
Starting off strong here, guys.
it was
starting the team.
it was like
off
one massive
strong.
misunderstanding, but it was all.
I said it right after it happened. I'm like, man, you're a KSC OG now.
Yeah, and stuff. I've been a pad jumper.
I would have preferred to have like more time on the cameras because I think we could have done a better job having the full time that we were had. But
I would have remembered the engine shot. I remember trying to sleep last night so we can wake up early to go line up for launch this morning. And I can't sleep. I'm tossing and turning. I think it was maybe about 2:30 in the morning, something like that. And then it hit me. Oh crap, the engine shot is exposed wrong. It's going to mess up. And that's the one we ended up coming away with. So
and the one with the back cover, we spent a lot of time on that. The last minute, that's when I got like 5 more minutes on it because the exposure was just like it was a wide image of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to operate this camera at all. Like you're telling me over the phone, like look for this, look for that. Everyone is waiting on me so they can leave.
Oh.
And like I'm up in the dirt on a hill, and we solved that. Like and unfortunately the back got in the way of the lens, but otherwise like it wasn't the setting of the camera, so I wasted it or something.
Yeah.
Now what could have changed that is if I'd had more time to secure the back of the bag so that it wouldn't wrap around and fall through.
Yeah.
But in the time that I was kind of given in that environment, like, I'm proud of what we pulled off.
Yeah, right, me too. So, fast forward to this morning.
I had to spend, once we got on the base, I had to spend, how long did that drive out there? Like 15-minute drive of just, oh my god, look at this. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. And the person in front of us had, when you drive out there, put the hazards on. The person in front of us had red hazards.
Yeah.
So it was a continuous of like, is he braking or is he not braking? We don't know.
Brake
So if you
light,
check him out, if we just suddenly started braking, because Zach was behind us in the convoy.
Yeah, I was not trying to brake check you.
Yeah.
I never.
And all of a sudden we're just like, oh, they're braking. Because all of a sudden the top one would come on. I
Yeah.
never really noticed.
Yeah. But that was that was cool being able to go out there.
And Jonathan Horn said I'd forgotten how fast motorcycles can brake, which was a very polite way of saying that I was braking too fast without warning. Timing, you know, but
like if anybody has a chance to go to a social once all this stuff calms down, we can get back to doing the socials in person. The places they take you out to, I've never been personally, but I've heard they're fairly close.
Yeah. Now, so,
Yeah.
The college where we were at is the same place that we were working social, real life social.
Yeah. So if you ever get accepted to a social for a launch, oh my God, don't miss it because it's a hell of a deal. How close did you say we were off the top of
I
my
think
head?
it's 3 or 4 miles.
yeah.
3.5, something like
something
that.
like that.
And this ended up working out great for me because I've said before in previous episodes that toward the top of my list, not number one, but up there, getting a good Atlas picture. And holy crap, it did not disappoint.
Much better than that last time.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yes.
So it was nice to come out here. Okay, knock on wood, because it has not ended. Have like almost no major issues for an Atlas launch.
That was
Because like not just launch, it's like even outside, like my car, my car hasn't died, hasn't been locked in the park. I didn't mess up a street shot. I didn't do a street shot.
Well, I guess there was one thing that I kind of messed up there was he gave me a remote button to press at launch on a camera.
yeah.
And I misunderstood, and I thought this is what I thought. I thought that you wanted me to press the start button and that it was like a timer up. And I didn't know what it was for. And I was like, this isn't that important. And I like kind of half pressed it. And like I don't think it registered.
Well, I attempted a daytime streak, which I have not mastered yet, but streak shots are usually not up there on my list. So they're usually a lower priority for me. I like the up close and personal launch vehicle shots, which I got a good number of those today. I shared some of them already. I plan to try and go through and process a bunch more of them tonight and just throw them up, put them on my page and my store and whatnot, share more of them on Twitter and whatnot. I'm sure you're going to do the same tonight or tomorrow. So that street shot didn't matter much. I got some great videos. I don't think we showed any of them to you yet. While we were waiting for you to get the remotes, we were playing them in my car through the sound system in my car. Holy crap! That rumble. The rumble when you're listening to it in my car sounds better than in person. I don't know how that's possible, but that's possible. So if you ever watch any of my videos of launches, do me a favor, pull up YouTube on your home theater or whatever and crank up the bass and watch it like that. Turn it up loud, piss off your neighbors, watch it like that because it's insane.
I got good. My audio did not work. Sadly.
I don't know
why.
One of my audios.
I don't know. I won't or something or whatever. But I got some. It was a nice, buttery, smooth, slow motion.
Oh,
it's gonna be nice.
It's the good stuff.
It's that good butter. It's that garlic aioli type butter.
And I was so happy out there because, like, you know, 36 hours before launch time, like the plan was that I go out there and, you know, we've got the remote set up, so that's cool. Then I'll go out there and, you know, run the camera, bar, adapt with all this stuff, and I'll take some launch pictures because it's kind of what you do. But like photography is not my thing, like reporting is, and so it wasn't like you're shooting with the wrong person out there.
Right.
And so we managed to get you guys out there too. Then it's like you guys were out like the artillery, like. and all I needed to do is just like be in the moment, you know, kind of take some behind the scenes things, and you know, best pressing of a button, but still. And it was such a blast because it was like no pressure.
Yeah.
You know.
It really was. I mean, we got so much content. I gotta you know, go through all my videos too, and see the stuff like that. I kind of looked at them in the car, but you know, I want to see them and put stuff together and things like that. I think I got 1, 2, 3 different videos. Go figure. The audio for myself and the video was the best.
Yeah. You look at like the other two, like there's with the GoPro, had a bunch of background noise on it. Oh, it peaked out.
It was the GoPro peaked out.
And then didn't the other one have like?
No. So I recorded on a 5D Mark II with a Rode Video Mic. I recorded on a GoPro Hero, whatever the last gen was. I don't know. I really used it. And then I recorded on my cell phone, a Pixel 4 XL. And this little sucker got the best audio. Don't know how. I put it on my Facebook earlier. I trimmed it down and put it up. I said if you're gonna hear wind noise at the beginning, you'll know when it's the rocket rumble. And it's true. You know when the rocket's roaring. The audio is
Yeah, no. For some reason, I plugged I have the same mic, plugged in my camera, and it got no audio. So I'm pretty sure I put it in the mic.
You know, and something cool about this Mars mission is, you know, kind of being first with space explorer, having like, you know, our just put together kind of team. Is that, you know, a lot of launches are like, you know, the launch is the big thing. There's a payload that is, you know, not exceptional. It's not like out of the ordinary, or you're not even like too sure what it is because it's secretive. With this one, you know, it's its flagship. It's like Demo 2 is. You know, it's not a crewed launch, but it's a rover. It's a space helicopter, and it's like a decade of experimentation in science.
Yeah.
And so, what a cool one to be like. That's where this started.
Yeah. This was definitely a great mission to start a team for sure. It was a big success all around. The vehicles, usually I'd say the vehicle's in orbit, but it's actually on the way out now.
Yeah.
As far as I understand, it didn't wait long. The mission was a success. The launch was a success.
Let me
phrase that correctly.
I think the injection burn was good, so now they just gotta land it. February next year, we'll then see if it's a successful landing. And then 15 years from then, we might know it's a successful mission.
Yeah.
It's a long-term mission.
Getting there and be able to explore is the success in itself. You know.
My kid got to come out to the visitor complex and watch him there.
Yeah.
And
Did your son pretty done? Did he say he ended up getting to see it? Did he know what or kind of realize what he was watching?
Yeah.
What do you have to say about it? Anything else?
He said it's his rocket.
It's a rocket.
Yeah.
That's valid, you know.
That is great.
Can't argue with that one.
Right. Yeah.
He says it's his.
It's his rocket.
I'm okay with that.
Yep.
I'm okay with that. This
I mean, it's 3, so like you talk about, you know, this is a long mission duration wise. You're looking at like, you know, a decade of science, 15 years, at least a year, maybe even from it. You know, for them, like 18, you know, 15 years.
Yeah.
Imagine, you know, the feeling like, oh, I was there, and this is what we're learning from that. That's a cool thing.
Well, always remind him that he said this was his rocket.
That's right.
Let him keep saying it. I'm totally cool with it. That's 3 for 3 this Mars season. 3 for 3.
Yeah.
China's
other than ESA, they have to push back. But
but to actually get off the ground.
yes, 3 for 3 for launches so far.
Yeah. Now
Harry Stranger's in the chat. That's the
Hey Harry.
Is it early or late? I don't know. I know it's upside down, but
It's the weekend.
yeah. The time does not matter on the weekend.
Harry, we're just happy you're here, buddy. Glad you stayed up and watched that launch and everything.
Stayed up or wake up early?
We woke up early.
Oh yeah, that's right. So he would have stayed up.
We're
It's
really turned around. It's been, like I said, a whirlwind couple of days, and now we've got time to, you know, settle, decompress. May or may not have a Starlink. Just before we went live, we watched a Proton launch, supposedly go off without a hitch, as far as we know.
Yeah.
There's an Ariane space in about 23 hours tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly a Starlink.
That's a
Ariane 5. Possibly a SM5 down in Texas. Apparently static fired earlier today.
Yep.
Did I see that?
Static
tweet?
fire earlier today was successful, and supposedly we're looking now for the 150 meter hop, right?
Yeah.
I believe that's the same hop that's hop we did.
Yeah.
We did 150. So maybe I might. We'll do a little spin first this time. Okay. Did you watch the Star Hopper?
Twist? Yeah.
Yeah. Did a little spin. Did a little spin. So,
Yeah.
Hey, what's it over here?
Is that?
What's it over here?
Over my shoulder is Big Orange Rocket. Hashtag Orange Rocket good. That is a model of the SLS that was picked up today at Fantasy.
Zach saw that and he goes, yes.
I usually spend like what that costs on like different stuff. That
So you blew the whole budget of
Yeah, it's
one
like-
item this time?
it's usually by accident. I'm like, yeah, it's like it's gonna do something.
I made the joke while we were in there because he was about to look underneath and see how much it was. And Zach, I bought one of these things before. I can tell you how much it is. It's about as much as the actual SLS. So, yeah.
And then this weekend there's splashdown looks like, or well, there's
Hopefully, we're
plans.
tracking a tropical storm.
Yeah, and a forecast track came out a little while ago that pushed the cone of uncertainty to the east.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, that opens up the potential of a splashdown near Pensacola.
Okay.
Yeah.
Photographic wise, is not it's tough for us to cover that kind of thing. Somebody would have to wait and catch it as it comes back to the port. And Bob and Doug are going to be long gone from it by then.
Right.
If it comes down
Yeah,
anywhere
the picture opportunity, the photo op is capsule.
at that point,
All toasted up.
yeah. And I'll be long gone by then. Seth should make the drive. Zach might want to stick around.
Yeah,
We'll
I'm
see
fine
about
with
that one.
Yeah. So yeah, that's boy, it's still got a busy couple of days ahead.
Right.
And I just gotta go back home to their work.
And then,
Yeah.
and then in August there's crew. Well, no, it's not in August. What do we get for August? Because crew 2 is in September. And there's
Crew 2 is in September.
Supposedly, yeah, we have hopefully
Or
Saigon.
crew 1 September. Crew 2's been named. But for the rest of August is.
For the rest of August, we can assume 2, maybe 3 Starlings at the most, depending on how fast they can do them and where they want to spend
Yeah,
them.
this next one that's maybe this weekend has been pushed back and moved around and all sorts of things.
So much, and just read the instructions. Left the port. Not last night, but the night before. We had just missed it when we went to the port, so we one of the drone ships. I got a feeling I quoted the wrong one. I'm gonna say a drone ship has left port. We'll put it like that. So we're expecting to see a Falcon go out to the pad, get vertical, hurry up and static fire, if they're even going to do one, because they've been known to skip that on the
I think for Starlink it is.
Yeah, so
Yeah, they've done a few, but
so they're kind of getting behind schedule on Starlink, so they're probably going to skip them more often. So you may just see it go vertical and go up. So other than that, next month, supposedly we have the final East Coast flight of the Delta 400. We've also got Salcom 1B, the first full orbit in forever from Florida. Isn't there one more flying on SpaceX?
yeah, I don't remember what it's called.
We're all a little burnt out. There's something else. Our brains have been going non-stop, and we're sleeping.
Yeah, I'm excited for one. That's a launch I want to see.
Yeah.
Got to see DM2 from from kind of not from media perspective, and we don't know what will happen with crew 1 media perspective wise, but
Right.
it'd be terrific to see up close and share with everybody. And, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a full 4-man crew, 6 months, so we're back at it at that point.
Yeah. Back to regular flights of I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it.
American astronauts on American rockets from American side. I don't have a drink to drink, so
We don't. We threw this together in a hurry just to let everybody know. So
somehow it worked. I really don't. It works with great animals. Like I don't know how we have
Because it's a new hotel with not very many guests.
Oh, that is very true.
yeah. Yeah.
It's not a normal launch week. Usually this would be packed, but not that this week.
So yeah, and then we've of course got a regularly scheduled episode of Rapid Unscheduled Discussions coming out Monday night.
Yep. Barry Bonzak.
Yeah, Barry Bonzak's going to be joining
on
us.
there. Of course, a lot of you guys all know him from Twitter for the first robotics and working on Orion with Lockheed Martin. A whole bunch of other stuff that he does.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. Looking forward to talking with him.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a great night of discussion right there. So definitely make sure to stop by and check it out.
And since you guys last episode arrived, you published your first picture for stories, right?
Yes,
Yep.
Yes, we have. Seth announced that on last week's episode that I joined Space Explorer.
Yeah.
We're taking over. Casa taking over. 2-1. There's nothing you can do about it.
Ride's really better than Space Explorer.
And with Pegasus being on the move, people saw that I was tracking it through Louisiana last week. I did an article for Space Explorer about it, and it just popped up. And I've got, we've already got plenty of ideas in the works, lots more coming out. If y'all haven't checked it out already, spaceexplorer.com. We're active on Twitter, Facebook. Do you have an Instagram? All right.
TikTok?
Yeah.
That was a no. That was a big no.
You know what? Rapid Unscheduled Discussions will start on TikTok. It'll be all Seth dancing. Poorly.
It'll be all you saying, "Oh my God," when you're on base.
Oh my God, I'm on the base.
We don't want to see you.
It's just gonna be a video of his face where he's oh miss, and then oh
No, it's gonna be my reaction sound effects from the launch.
So yeah, I did not catch it during the launch.
Hear that
But
audio
listening
with
back-
the GIF that you make from all the pictures.
On all 3 videos that he took, as soon as it started launching, you just hear oh. Wow.
It was, and I
so
tried.
uncandid, it is great.
I try to control myself.
I mean, you can
because
curse and swear, so.
Yeah, that's a plus for us. That's a big plus.
This time, Seth and I were on our good behavior, as good as behavior as it's going to get for us.
Pretty much.
No, I usually, if anyone else has seen my videos of launches that I put up, it's not my top part or anything. It's just cell phone videos, but you can hear me making the same kind of sound effects. There's really weird giggling that I do. I'm laughing about it too, so it's
You
okay.
can't be like too cool when you watch the launch. Like, it just takes over.
Yeah, how can you not?
Even when you're watching other people, like every time it's a launch, Chris G goes like that.
Yeah.
Which is great.
He does.
He always cheers, especially with Crew 1, he was. Not Crew 1, so like Demo 2, he was like crazy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put those together and put them up. It's gonna be some fun stuff, and hopefully tomorrow we're gonna have a gallery on Space Explorer from all of the content we've put together, and I think we're gonna have basically a launch wrap up for Perseverance.
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of an interesting thing where, the story is, we know the mission and everything, so we talk about that on the site, and then today, it launched, and, without issue, which was like, that's good.
10 milliseconds early, right?
10 milliseconds early. And to hear a statistic like that, you got to give credit to the ULA folks for putting out something like that.
Yeah, it was a home run, literally first pitch of the game. Like it.
Yeah, I mean that the skies were beautiful. It wasn't even miserable out there.
It was.
No, we got there early. The bugs weren't even an issue, which was nice.
Oh.
It wasn't muggy, and then I was prepared from when I was there last time. Like it was.
I was prepared to be.
I guess we were there for about less than an hour before launch, before we looked off, and it flew by.
It flew by. I pulled out my camping stool and sat down for 2 minutes and played on Twitter. But that's it. And then I'm like, oh god, we're that close to launch.
And it was
that
like, all right, we have a 2-hour window, and you can watch it every 5 minutes up the door opens.
Yeah.
Didn't need any of that.
Yeah, I mean, I was prepared to hang out, but nope. Right at the opening of the window, right when they wanted to go, and it went.
Yeah, ULA definitely showed up today.
Oh man, good day. There's a lot riding on this. So, I guess that's going to do it for us on this special edition episode. It's been a success all around, both for us and for NASA, the JPL team, and shit, science as a whole going
Yeah.
exploring together. So
I mean, just for the three of us specifically, like we could not have planned this out any better. Like,
no,
we didn't plan it. Like,
that's usually
That's
how
very
it is.
true. There
Yeah.
was really no planning at
Yeah.
all. I showed up not even knowing like anything.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You showed up.
I'm
That's
just
all.
like, I'll just bring my camera equipment.
Yeah.
I rented a car and I'll just show up.
Right.
And we'll see what
we
happens.
were almost here from New Orleans when I was like, we need to go out. Like,
I was.
Yeah,
I was.
and even then, like we got the email saying that we were on it, but also like we were also still relatively skeptical.
Yeah.
We were sitting in line waiting to be like for us to check in, and we were waiting for Jim to come walk to us. And I'm just sitting, I see him walking towards us, and I'm like, well, here's the thing: either we're just supposed to be in separate cars, and we're not, or we're actually not on the list anymore. And then he waves at us, and keeps walking. I'm like,
Yeah.
we've made it past the first box.
And Zach, you didn't hear this when I made a joke about the second boss being.
I was like, the next boss is the gate guard.
And what did I say?
Roll for stealth.
Yeah, roll for stealth, or roll for deception, something like that. Oh man, it was great. It's just been a blast all around, and I think everybody, near and far had a blast watching this thing. So.
can't wait to do this over and over again.
Can't wait to do it way more. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So, yeah. So thank you guys all for the people who showed up live, everyone listening after the fact. Thank you so much. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, leave a review. Refresh a few times.
Smash that bell.
Ding dong notification bell. Also, if you guys do want to support us more directly, we do have a Patreon. I'll add that in the description below. Patreon.com/podcast. Close enough.
And now we got to start plugging. Keep an eye on spaceexplore.com. Just starting up, but we've already got some great content up there. But lots more to come. We got lots more stuff in the works.
Well, I guess I'll just say see you next week, but see
you
you
in a few
guys
days.
all Monday.
Yeah.